Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monica. I am a special education teacher in Wisconsin. It is my 7th year teaching special education, actually in this exact same school, not the same classroom. I've moved around a little bit, but I've had a lot of questions both on this YouTube channel and also on Instagram, just asking how I teach the unique learning system. And I thought, well, I can pull a video together and show you. This is my 2nd year teaching unique learning system, my 3rd teaching news to you. And I'm also trying out L3 skills this year. All 3 curriculums are stuff that my school pays for. This isn't sponsored. My school pays some good money for these curriculums and they are worth it. So this is how I prepare the materials. I'm sorry that this is not even. I tried. This tripod and I, we just can't get level, and that's okay. This is kind of what it looks like close up. When I'm preparing the materials, I color print the majority of things and I laminate it if I know there's going to be Velcro on top of it. But something like this, I color copy, but then when that lesson is done, I'll just recycle it or a little kid take it home. Or like this is not colored copied because I didn't need any color and it's not laminated. I just have the black and white so that students can write their answers on it themselves. But I did laminate the manipulatives that they would need to be using to measure around the room. Otherwise, we're just tempted to rip and tear them. So when I'm getting started with preparing the unit for the month, I have clips with every single lesson on them that I have to be printing. That way on the laminating sheet, they're all together. Decided this year that I would put all of the lessons on there in the clips. So then when I do the laminating, then I can clip it on the laminating itself. And then when they're cutting out all these pieces, they can clip it back together. And I also have a paper that I use, not really for myself because I know what I want to print now, but if I have a student teacher or a para might be trying to help me, I know what I need to be printing and I know what has to be colored, what has to be black and white, and what has to be laminated. And if you're interested in this document, it's kind of something that I've tailored to me and the needs of my students. But if you really want it, you could ask me on Instagram and I can send it over to you. So after we've spent a significant amount of time, we've laminated, we've cut, we've Velcroed. This is what it is like for the month. We use both the digital and the paper version. And this is how I currently have this displayed. It's a little bit different than last year, but I'm going to assume it's going to work because it's just already so much better than last year and everything is where someone can find it. I mostly teach this curriculum, but there is an occasion where like a para is teaching something with a student. And if a student pulls up the digital lesson, we often will do whole group digital lesson and then we'll do it again, the paper version or the Velcro version, just so they have that independent practice. But also we often do a lot of these things more than once. So like in my daily routine, we do the tracing and the spelling list every single day. And that's a part of our morning work. And I am planning on doing a video for you guys, like what a typical morning looks like for us, that like first half hour, 45 minutes, because it is very repetitive, but it's also very important. And part of the morning includes the word wall. So I do have the word wall separate from the rest of the ULS board, but that's because I like to reference this every single time we go in and out of the door. And it's in a pocket chart so I can rearrange things so they don't just get used to the arrangement or where the words are. And so that's with my calendar and my math talk so that we can talk about it in the beginning of the day every single day, but also when we're going in and out of the door. So since we're standing over here, here's our news to you board. Again, it's over here by the oven. So I do all 3 of the news to yous, the science experiment, the craft, and then the food recipe, but I also include the ULS food recipe over here. So that'll stay for the entire month or whenever we get around to teaching it. But the news to you stuff switches out weekly, besides the word wall and the news to you board. Everything I need to teach ULS is either on this bulletin board, in those binders, or on the students' computers. So every single day, the students are completing the spelling list, the word wall, the tracing. Now these change, right? So this is only the spelling list 1. Say it's week 2. Uh-oh, we need a new spelling list. These lists are color copied, but they are not laminated. So on Friday, I'll send them home. A lot of my students have these at home too, and they like to play school. So they like to take them home and put them in their own name sleeves. That's what we call them, name sleeves. But hey, let's say it's Monday. We now need spelling list 2. We're going to come over here. There's our tracing for the week or the next week. Here's the rest of the word wall. If I want to practice a past unit, they're all in here. And here's all of our spelling. So if it's week 2, week 3, or week 4, I have the spelling in here already prepared. I print the entire month and prepare it at the same time just to make my life a little easier. And then my clips over here too. We'll start with the level A book for all of my students. And then by the end of the month, the hope is that we progress to the level D. We're understanding the words and remembering the sight words that are in it. And I do have a student who does use the adaptive materials as well. And he is nonverbal, so he primarily uses this book. But a lot of my students really do like the Velcro. So if they're reading the level D book, I'll let them use that one too. If we have any downtime, we'll play the match game. I do always have to put a color on the back because my students do kind of hold it up to the light and try to cheat. So that's not exactly the best. And then in News to You, say we're doing a math lesson. All of that is generally done on the computer, except sometimes there are students that prefer having the physical counters in front of them instead of using the digital. So they'll come over here and they'll get what they need. That's why it's on the bottom. Kind of takes up a lot of space, but it's important space. Kind of touched on this already. If we're doing non-standard measurement, when we're done with this, I just recycle it and I'll let kids keep this. So then this would be empty. And often a lot of these, after we've already done it, I'll just keep it for later. So say it's a science week. I don't follow the pacing for ULS for the science, the craft, or the recipe. I kind of fit it in as I have time, but everything else, I just let the unique learning system pick what lessons we're doing each day. And then I will hopefully do all the lessons in the time that they have allotted. Hopefully. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So if it's like an experiment day, we'll do the experiment. And then if it's a good one, we'll keep it. So I keep the recipes, I keep the crafts and the science ones that I think I could repeat during some other year that are applicable to other things. I have a student whose goal is matching small to large patterns. So I just have a whole bunch of these too. But after we've done like the experiment, the craft, this will just be empty. We're really good at shapes in my class. We really enjoy them, but this one is tricky because the directions are on a different page than where all of this is. So when we get to that unit, I'll pull this out and we'll use it. And then when we're done with it, we'll just recycle this. In my little container of tricks over here, I do have this for students that need just a little memory of what's flat and what's solid. And then I also have just different assortments of like matching a circle and a circle and a square and a square. Those generally are the same every unit. So if this comes up and that student needs it, we'll just pull this out. I also keep these shapes attributes charts. Sometimes I honestly am like, oh, how many faces does a cube have? Hold on, let me count. And I don't expect my students to memorize how many faces or edges a prism has. If they can find it on the chart, that's perfectly fine with me. And then over here, I also keep all of the old vocabulary words. And then underneath this is just a whole bunch of different shapes that come from ULS. So we'll talk about like, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a hexagon. Oh, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a pentagon. Again, on shape day. Same opposite. This is covered one day, but we totally do not understand same and opposite. So if we have time after we've read the book, done the assorted reading lessons that they have for the day, we'll practice the ones that are the same and the ones that are the opposite. Post-it note over this. Sometimes I'll hold my hand too. And we practice these every day if we have time. Same thing with the vocabulary words. It's on a clip like that, so we can take them apart. We can use the vocab. We can spread it out, make a little game of it. Try to practice those every single day. And then the rhyming. So I made them into little books. I have a mat. The cat is on the mat. Pat the cat on the mat. The cat on the mat as we chat. So there's 2 little rhyming books that go with the unit this month. And then I also have this. So I have level 1 and level 2. So picture and then also just words. And I keep those forever because rhyming is hard. So I like to just have them here too so we can practice them. And then all the ones that are book related that have Velcro to go with them, I try to keep up here so we don't lose them. So certain points in the curriculum, we're going to be reading Follow the Rules. And so that's something we would definitely read more than once. And I would assign it in the independent library too, so they could read it on their own time during free choice book time.
It is the first day of school. Jack is excited to start school. Jack wants to read books, play, and make a friend.
And so actually, this goes in here. I just didn't want to lose all my people and the places options when I pulled them out to try to show you guys. So I have the beginning, the middle, and the end here too, so we can practice retelling what happens in the story. And then here's the book itself. And so these would all go in here. And then right here, this is our concept web. And then again, we have the story sequence. And then up here is another book, a level E, Rules in the Gym. Answer the questions about the story. Use rules in the gym to help you. This one's black and white because the students are going to do the digital version and then we'll do the paper together. And this one I have rule 1, rule 2, rule 3. What are the consequences? Faith has to sit out. But I have the black and white copy, so all they have to do is cut and paste what the first, second, third, and fourth rule are. And I absolutely love that the first unit is all about rule following, because that first week of school, pretty much all you're ever doing is talking about rules and expected behaviors at school. And then this is just here to remind paras. We pretty much ask them all the time, but if there's a sub or somebody and they just need a reminder of what they should be asking while the student is reading, it's up here. So we talked about rhyming. CVC, again, this is something we'll do it when lesson 11 comes up, but if we have time, I'll just do it during the day. Pat, pat, tap, tap. So we'll go through these if we have time. CVC words fit with a lot of my students' IEP goals, so this is perfect to just run through when we have a spare second. This one, I never ever do the digital version because my students cheat. So I use a little tab thing to separate the old ones. We do practice these a lot because I don't want them memorizing the answers, and they often do. So like this one, we take them all off, we'd spread it out. And when I'm first teaching my students how to do this, we talk about punctuation, we talk about capitalization. And the first thing I tell them is, take a look at the words you have available. Make it easy on yourself. Where's the capital letters? Where's the ending punctuation? Be to others? Be nice. Be nice to others. And so, as I said, we'll go through this on lesson 11. And if somebody has time, a para, me, depending on the kid, we'll just come over here, grab the binder, pull it out, and we'll practice that skill. This one goes with the compare, contrast, rules at school. And then this one's rules at home. And that goes with our beautiful friend Jill learning the rules. And so I always keep these because they're very applicable to other things that we're learning. And so I have a pretty good memory. So if we're doing something with rules or social studies and we're talking about land and water, like I'll just pull this over, and it's just another thing for students to practice when we got a moment of time. And then for trace the uppercase letter, I do have extras of these sleeves. So some of these I already have prepared and just sits over here. And the last thing right here, lesson 24, the shape puzzle. I have a student that loves these. Take them all off, match it, beautiful. And I have every single one that we've covered last year and then this year because he really likes them and it's good practice for him. Hitting all those IEP goals. Okay, I think I have talked about everything curriculum-wise. If you have any specific questions, you can ask them down below. If you are excited for a classroom tour, leave a green heart. If you're excited for the first 30 minutes of my day, I don't know what I'm going to title that video, sped morning work, I don't know, leave a purple heart so I can decide which video I should film first. And before I go, the bulletin board background is Hobby Lobby, so I'm assuming they don't sell it anymore. And I was hoping for a lavender, and I just kind of stumbled upon this, and I actually really like it, so I'm happy that I chose this. The white border is schoolgirl style. It's Amazon. I can link it down below. The little patch letters are all over Teachers Pay Teacher, Instagram. You can just search patch letters and a million of them come up. These little stars are actually push pins. They're Amazon. I'll put the link down below. Random bit of cork board. It's actually sticky on the back, so you can cut it to however you want. That I got at Hobby Lobby, but I'm pretty sure you can get it at Amazon too. I'll put a link below. And oops, these little clips. These little clothespins you can get off of Amazon. That's where I got mine because I didn't want to be messing around with hot glue. But if you have the spare time, I'm sure you can hot glue yourself a push pin onto a clothespin and it'll be just fine. And these black sleeves are also Amazon. Link down below. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one.